In Europe, a new deadly E. coli strain, known as the Shiga toxin, has infected over 1,600 people. And health officials said Thursday 3 people in the United States are suspected to have fallen ill from the E. coli bacteria after traveling to Germany, where the outbreak has occurred. All this news has farmers, consumers, and officials looking at possible gaps in the U.S. food system.
I think we have to constantly be vigilant, and I think we have to constantly look for ways to improve food safety. And that requires us to make sure that we're testing for the right things.
But testing for this mutant strain hasn't been done in the U.S., and the exact source is still unknown by scientists in Europe, though cucumbers, tomatoes, and leafy lettuce are suspect.
So there are multiple strains of E. coli, and one of the questions is, how do we do testing for multiple strains to get ahead of illnesses?
A 2006 outbreak in spinach highlighted the threat to fresh produce in the United States. And when it comes to fresh vegetables, a sweeping new law requires the FDA to set standards to guard against contamination of all sorts. The rules are expected to address such things as properly processed compost, worker hygiene, and keeping animals and their runoff from fields or irrigation water.
The FDA, under a newly passed law, is supposed to overhaul the way it does food safety. And one of the changes that it's supposed to make is to set new standards for produce manufacturers.
On this 60-acre vegetable farm outside of Chicago, the United States Department of Agriculture's Clean Food certification has been ramped up in the last 3 years. And farmer Steve TIWALD keeps a close watch on the good agricultural practices of cleaning raw foods that go to market.
There's a new emphasis in the last few years on sanitation conditions for fresh vegetables. And we're concerned about it because we don't want it to come to this country, and secondly, we don't want it to chill people's interest in eating fresh vegetables.
On Thursday, the USDA said that there is not a major concern in this country, as of yet.
At this point in time, I have no reason to believe that what's specifically occurring in Europe is somehow going to happen over here because of what happened in Europe.
The broad focus promised by the new food safety law is critical in getting ahead of the next emerging germ, rather than racing to develop tests for each new strain. Robert Ray, Associated Press, Chicago.